going on, Jerome? So lost in all the absolute anarchy and insanity of the Vikings miracle come from behind 39 to 36 win in overtime against the Indianapolis Colts is that they have secured the NFC North and they're still in good position to secure the 2 seed in the NFC. As far as the division goes, the Vikings were still 99.9% chance to win the division with 4 games to go. The Vikings had to go 0-4, and the Lions had to go 4-0 for Detroit to overtake the Vikings. But, of course, in the back of Vikings fans' mind, it's just like it was a non-zero chance. And especially the first half against the Colts, you're thinking, oh, my God, maybe this actually could happen. But the Vikings moved to 11-3 on the season, eliminate the Lions from NFC North contention, which is fantastic. And it's a sight to behold, man. And now the Vikings, maybe they didn't secure the division as early as you would have liked, but is what it is. They still got it done. In terms of the NFC, the Vikings are still firmly in the 2 spot at 11-3. The Niners, even though the Niners beat the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday, are still at 10-4. Now, if they end up with the same record, the Niners will have the tiebreaker because of conference record. So the Niners have had a better conference record overall than the Vikings. So the Vikings have to stay a game ahead of San Francisco because we said the importance of the 2 seed is that if you win Wild Card Weekend, you are guaranteed 2 home games, hosting the Wild Card game, and you're going to host a divisional round game. Also, something happens to Philly, which it does seem like there's a decent chance that it could be Cowboys and Eagles in the divisional round after the Cowboys go into Tampa and beat the Buccaneers, unless the Panthers take the division. Who knows? So it could be a 1-5 Philly versus Dallas matchup in the divisional round, and someone has to go home, and maybe it's Philly. And guess what? The Vikings boop could be hosting the NFC title game. But of course, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Looking at the remaining schedule for the Vikings and the Niners, Vikings are hosting the Giants on Saturday on Christmas Eve. 2 teams heading in opposite directions. And then you're on the road at Green Bay week 17, and then on New Year's Day, and then you're on the road week 18 at Chicago. Now, the Packers and the Bears would obviously love to piss in the Vikings cornflakes, just knock them down a peg or 2 as the Vikings head into the playoffs, and both of those teams are not. But we'll see. Now, there could be something to be said about potentially arresting a couple of veterans, especially guys like Harrison Smith, guys like Zadarius Smith, maybe even Garrett Bradbury, to completely get them ready to go for the playoffs, get them to 100%. But we'll see what Kevin O'Connell wants to do these last couple games. The Niners, meanwhile, so they're hosting Washington on Christmas Eve, and then they're at the Raiders, and then they're hosting the Cardinals. I mean, all 3 teams are... Well, Washington's been kind of plucky, yes, and also they could get Chase Young back, so that would be nice. They're at the Raiders, which, and then Arizona's completely mailed in this season. So I think that there is a chance that they could go 3-0 down the stretch, the Niners, and the Vikings would have to go 3-0 if they still want to secure that 2 seed, because as long as they stay a game ahead of San Francisco, they got it. But again, that's getting ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on the Giants, and then everything else will just take care of itself. I mean, you can't really you can't watch another person's bobber. You can control what you can control, and what the Vikings can control on Saturday is the greatest comeback in NFL history. I still can't wrap my little feeble mind around it. It's just nuts, man. Anyways, that's a look at the NFC North as well as the NFC playoff race. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.